Alabama looking like they are zeroing in on an offensive coordinator. I don't believe this is final just yet. It might be by the time that you're seeing this video. A lot of thought around who Kalen DeBoer could end up hiring to be his OC. Would it be an outside hire? Kirby Moore was a name that got thrown around a lot. We personally were big fans of Kalen DeBoer saying, hey, listen, it's my turn, Michael Scott style, and making himself to the OC. Nick Sheridan, his tight ends coach at Washington, his tight end coach currently at Alabama. Looks like that's going to be the guy they roll with as their tight end coach, or as their offensive coordinator, rather, in Tuscaloosa. So we'll give you our thoughts on that here in just a second. Make sure you're subscribed right here. The On3 YouTube channel. This show, The Hard Count, we are live 3 times a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We talk college football every single day. So make sure you're dialed in. We appreciate you for that. Roll, party, roll. All right. When I look at this hire for Kalen DeBoer, if this is the way that he ends up going, this ends up being a thing that gets finalized. This is really the status quo kind of hire, right? This is the move that has the highest floor outside of naming yourself the offensive coordinator for Kalen DeBoer, because you bring in an outside guy, you bring in a Kirby Moore, you bring in somebody else from somewhere else across the country. Maybe they have a strong resume, but there's always that question mark of, well, how do they fit in our system? Well, how do they fit in how we do things? What do they bring to the table, and how do they fit with our whole way of doing things, our operation here in Tuscaloosa? That's a risk that you could have taken. Is that a risk you want to take your first year as the head coach in Tuscaloosa? I see the reason why you wouldn't. I really like the fact that there's some familiarity there. Like, as much as I would have loved to see Kalen DeBoer say, I'm taking matters into my own hands, pass me the sticks, I'm calling the offense for our first season. I like the fact that it's a guy who he has some familiarity with, a guy that he knows what he's getting, he knows they work well together, a guy with offensive coordinator experience. And to be honest, if he wasn't going to be the OC at Alabama, it was a matter of time before he was an OC somewhere else. A rising star in the industry. Good for Kalen DeBoer making an internal hire here, making the high floor hire. Now, let's not get it twisted. Just because Kalen DeBoer is not calling the plays in Tuscaloosa does not mean that Kalen DeBoer won't still have a massive influence on what gets called during the week and on how they practice and run the offense during the week. The way that it was explained to me, this is still going to be Kalen DeBoer's offense. This is still Kalen DeBoer's offense. Even if Ryan Grubb was still the offensive coordinator in Tuscaloosa, this would still be Kalen DeBoer's offense. So in that way, feel some confidence if you're an Alabama fan today that it's not going to be this total revamping of things. You're just kind of passing the sticks off to the next guy. Same system, same way of doing things. And honestly, the thing that I love the most about this hire, if I can't have Kalen DeBoer, at least I have someone who's played quarterback before calling the offense for me. Nick Sheridan calling the offense. A part of this that's reported is he's also going to work with the quarterbacks. So for me, the entire question mark around Alabama's success offensively in 2024 is the maturation and progress of Jalen Milroe. Because last year for Alabama, it's no secret, there were times where that offense looked pretty one-dimensional. A lot of that probably falls on the skill players, and you'll have to answer for that in this upcoming season. No way around it. But I think for Alabama as well, like Jalen Milroe being consistent as a passer is a very big factor in their success in 2024. How much can he take a step forward? How much can he progress? And he talked a lot, did Jalen Milroe, during the Rose Bowl about how it was really crucial for him to have an offensive coordinator in Tommy Rees who had actually played quarterback before, who wasn't coming at this thing from a third-person point of view and saying, well, I think this is what I see on tape. It's like, no. He's played the position. He stood in those shoes. He knows what it's like being the guy back there, and he can actually speak that language with a little bit more certainty. So that was encouraging for me to see for Alabama, encouraging for me to see with Jalen Milroe, because Nick Sheridan, again, a lot of pressure here. Let's not beat around the bush here. Just because you made an internal hire for Kalen DeBoer does not mean the pressure is turned down at all. We talked about the win total for them being at 9.5 going into the season. Maybe that's a little bit lower according to Vegas. The folks in Tuscaloosa, man, they don't care. They don't care. They are still expecting SEC titles, expecting national titles. Now, you lose a lot from the year before production-wise, but Alabama actually from last year, they were at 125 returning production. They're at 115 this season. So we'll have more thoughts on this as soon as it goes final, obviously, but Nick Sheridan right now is trending towards being the next offensive coordinator in Tuscaloosa. How this will get announced, maybe it'll be a press release, maybe it'll be a Twitter bio change, I don't know, but as soon as we get more information, we will, of course, unpack it together Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.